Welcome to our news channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Hello friends, good morning and welcome. The headline of our news here says, PDP demands review of Supreme Court judgment on Buhari's election. PDP has called for the review of Supreme Court judgment on Buhari's an article the Apex Court had last year dismissed petition filed against Buhari's election. The former ruling party, however, alleged that the APC is destroying the nation's democracy. Okay guys, before we look at the details of this news, if this is the first time you are seeing this article, please kindly do us a favor by supporting us. Kindly hit on the red subscribe button below the video, and please don't forget to hit on the bell button so you won't miss any of the subsequent news we'll be putting in this channel. Thank you. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has demanded a review of the Supreme Court judgment which affirmed the election of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 presidential election. According to the report, the party, in a thread of tweets on its Twitter page on Monday, February 24th, said it was making the demand following the application of the All Progressive Congress, APC, for the review of the judgment on Zamfara and Bayelsa states. The party also alleged the ruling APC of destabilizing and destroying the nation's hard-earned democracy, adding that the time has come for all Nigerians to stand in unity to defend the country and salvage it from political marauders and oppressive elements. The PDP wished to bring to the attention of the world that the APC is all out to destabilize our nation and destroy our hard-earned democracy. The time has come for all Nigerians to stand in unity to defend our nation and salvage it from political marauders and oppressive elements. Our nation is already aware of the desperation by the APC to annex the Supreme Court, subjugate and browbeat the justice and direct judicial determinations to suit their selfish ends. The public space is already awake with report of how the APC has been threatening and piling pressure on the justice of the Supreme Court to force a reversal of valid judgment already delivered on the Bayelsa and Zamfara governorship elections, where the party suffered self-inflicted losses. Nigerians know that the APC has been going through a demurrage since the Supreme Court delivered valid judgment on Bayelsa and Zamfara, and as a result, they are no longer interested in the logic of this judgment, the party said. The PDP holds that the sacrifice for the sustenance of democracy, as demonstrated in the patriotic component towards the verdict of the court on the presidential election, as well as Osun, Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna governorship election tribunal, subsist. It stated further, moreover, there is a consensus among majority of Nigerians and even the international community that there was obvious miscarriage of justice by the Supreme Court panel on the Imo State governorship election, for which the PDP accordingly reverted to the Supreme Court, asking it to correct the manifest mistake and errors in the judgment, which are already in the public domain. Okay guys, this is coming from PDP, and specifically on the presidential election, the 2019 presidential election. PDP has called for the review of the Supreme Court judgment on Buhari, and article, you recall with me that the Apex Court last year dismissed petition filed against Buhari's election, filed against the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the former ruling party is saying that the APC is destroying the nation's democracy. Now, they said they are going back to the court for the judgment to be reviewed. And as we all know, this is actually right. They have been to the court before, and at the end of the day, their petition was dismissed. And now they want to go back to the court this time, and they say that the judgment should be reviewed. Now, they particularly said that the reason they are going to the court is because the reason they are going back to the court for the judgment to be reviewed is because the All Progressive Congress APC is asking the court to review the judgment on Zamfara and Bayelsa State. Okay, so that's why they said, okay, since the court is now, since the APC is now going back to the court for Zamfara and Bayelsa State judgment to be reviewed. Okay, let's go back to the court for the presidential election to be reviewed. The presidential election judgment to be reviewed. So the big question here is, we all know in the country we are fighting for the best. We want the best. We want the best outcome. I know a lot of people will be happy if at the end of the day this case will be reviewed and Atiku becomes the president. And I also know that some people will be happy if this case is reviewed and at the end of the day President Muhammadu Buhari still remains the president of the country. And this is 2020. Already we have 2 years for the next election to come in. What advice do you have to give to PDP? What do you have to say about this? Do you think it is right for PDP to still go back to the court? Because I feel it's actually going to bring a lot of distraction. It's going to bring a lot of distraction considering the money that will be spent. All right, a lot of money will be spent during this process. Okay, so guys, what do you think about this particular story? Kindly hit on the comment section of the video and drop your thought. Thank you. Okay, let's quickly look at the next news. Okay, as we are going down, don't forget that the INEC has declared Governor Diri and his deputy seat vacant at Senate. The duo's seat became vacant following their emergence as the governor and deputy governor of Bayelsa State. Mamo Yakobo, the INEC boss, said that the new date for return in the state will be communicated later. Okay guys, we're still going down. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has declared vacant 2 seats in the 9th Senate. Nigerian Tribune report that a meeting with the resident electoral commissioners, RECs, on Friday, February 21st, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said by-elections would be conducted in Bayelsa Central and Bayelsa West Senatorial District. According to the report gathered, that he told the gathering of RECs and newsmen that the development was a sequel to notification by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan. It was revealed that Senator Duyi Diri from Bayelsa Central has since emerged as governor on Friday, February 14th, following the judgment of the Supreme Court which voided the victory of the candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC, David Leon, and his deputy. Senator Lawrence, representing Bayelsa West, has equally emerged as deputy governor to Senator Diri on a joint ticket of the PDP. Yakubu, who gave the disclosure, said the commission would soon fix a date for the election in the South state. He said, in compliance with the orders of the Supreme Court, the commission has presented certificate of return in respect of the governorship elections in Imo and Bayelsa State. In the case of Bayelsa State, both the governor and deputy governor were serving senators. The INEC chairman gave Saturday, March 14 for pending by-elections into certain federal constituencies in Kwara, Jigawa, and Plateau states. It was reported that Daniel Alabra, the governor's acting chief press secretary, announced this in a statement on Thursday, February 20th. He said the governor appointed Friday Benson, a former speaker of the State House of Assembly, as secretary to the state government, while Irorodame will serve as principal secretary. Okay guys, what do you have to say about this news? Kindly hit on the comment section of the video and drop your thought concerning this. Don't forget, PDP has demanded review of Supreme Court judgment on Buhari's election. PDP demands review of Supreme Court judgment on Buhari's election. What do you have to say about this? Go to the comment section of the video and drop your thoughts concerning this. And please, if this is the first time you are seeing this video, kindly promote us by hitting on the bell button beside the subscribe. Thank you and God bless you.